Okay, everybody, hey, instead of doing math for the circular motion part first, we're going to do a little at-home experiments with stuff you probably have. Will you please wait?
Can I do mine by myself?
Yes, but you're going to wait. So what I need you to do is go grab a shoelace out of your shoes, and then you're going to take it and preferably find a stuffed animal. Hopefully you have a stuffed animal. If not, maybe you have something like less plastic, so that if you accidentally let go, it doesn't get broken, if it flies off or doesn't break anything else, or, you know, if it accidentally hits somebody, it doesn't hurt them. So take your shoelace, and we're going to tie this around. This is baby Simba. And we're going to tie this around baby Simba's tail, and Wade's going to practice in the kitchen.
Yeah, from
Oh,
Disney.
you know what? Maybe we should go in the kitchen because the ceiling's a little. Wait, no. We're just going to. Will you move the chair out of the way for a second? We'll just move the chair, and you and I will do it together. Yep, turn it like that. Okay. So there's Wade, and there's me, and we'll be in the kitchen. And I've already tied my shoestring around Dolly the dolphin here.
Yeah.
That's what we're calling her. I don't know if she has a name. Ooh, I dropped some. I know. And so we're gonna practice. And we're just gonna awesome. He's awesome. We're just gonna practice spinning our stuffed animals around. And we're not gonna do any math yet. We're just gonna pay attention to how it feels on our finger. Okay. So here you go. Here you go, Wade. Take Simba and hold Simba like right there. What? Hold the string. Okay. So we gotta stand here for a second. It is pretty heavy, right? So think back to when we first started the unit about forces, right? And right now, my finger is feeling the force, right? Because the string is over my finger. I'm feeling the force of Dolly the dolphin hanging down in the air, right? Her weight is pulling on the shoelace, creating tension in the shoelace, and I'm feeling that here at the top of my finger. Dolly's feeling the same kind of force, the exact same force, in the tension pulling her up, right? Equal and opposite. I feel Dolly's weight. Dolly feels me holding her up, right? Okay. So now we're going to take that understanding of tension and equal and opposite, and we're going to start to fling our stuffed animals in a circle. So Wade, I'm going to stand behind you. You're just going to try and get it going. Hold it at make it a short little thing, and spin it around a circle. Ready, go.
Oh, I feel it. It's getting heavy.
It feels heavy, right? Ooh. And it feels really heavy at the bottom, and it feels lighter at the top, right? Heavy at the bottom, light at the top. Heavy at the bottom, light at the top. Okay? So now, just keep that in the back of your head. Now, make the string a little longer. Maybe not all the way. Make your string a little longer, and then do it again.
Oh, I can't do it.
Certainly doesn't. You can't do it? Well, I can do it. Here, I'll show you. That doesn't feel as heavy at the bottom as it did when it was a smaller radius. Let's see if I can get it going. Oh, well, I don't know. How's that feel? That feels a certain way. Certainly feels like I'm moving slower. Oh no. Let's try again. Hold on. Let me try this way. See if I can go at the same speed. Wait, move out of the way. Certainly moving faster.
Can someone please fix mine?
Ooh, there we go.
Someone please fix mine. I need someone to fix it.
Okay, keep that in the back of your head, how that felt. I'm gonna hit stop. I gotta fix his Simba, and then we're gonna do some math. Okay? Okay, so hold on, let me turn this down. I tried to do this part already, and then my son decided he's gonna pee in the bathroom right next to the kitchen and flush the toilet at a crazy, absurdly loud volume. Anyway, okay. So he didn't want to close the door, because why would you want to close the door while you go to the bathroom? Anyway, so we're doing this again. I hope I remember everything I said. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add in some thinking about the formulas, and try to make sense, or try to match the variables in the formulas to what we were feeling as you were spinning around your stuffed animal. Okay, so let's go back. So in the beginning, right, there was no net force, because we were just holding it, and I was letting Dolly the dolphin hang, and I was kind of mentally taking note of how that felt, right? Because Dolly had a weight, and she was pulling down on the shoestring, and I was feeling that, and she was feeling the same magnitude of force, but obviously in the opposite direction, right? I was holding her up, she was pulling the string down. Great. And then I spun it around. I made it a small radius, and I spun it around a circle. And I noticed a couple of things. One, it was really hurting my finger as I was spinning around really hurting my finger, and it especially was harder or heavier to hold her up. She felt heavier at the bottom and lighter at the top. Well, shoot, remember I said that kind of ties into what we did the other day. When you go lighter, and when you're down in the valleys, when you're down the holler, you feel heavier, right? Okay, great. Well, remember, when we were just hanging there, when Dolly was just hanging there, F equals ma, F net equals ma, F was 0, there's no acceleration. But on a circular path, remember, there's always an acceleration in towards the center of the circle, where basically the shoestring was tracking the direction of the acceleration and the force, right? Because it was always going in towards my finger. That's why I wanted you to think about how did it feel. And so when it was a small radius, it hurt more than when it was a large radius. Okay, great. Now my goal was to have Dolly the dolphin spinning at a constant speed the entire time. I don't know if that was necessarily happening, and I wanted to try to have Dolly be the same speed in both the small, but I don't think that was necessarily happening. So we're going to look at this as we're looking at two variables. We'll do the best we can, right? So I went back to Newton's second law, F equals ma. That's what drives all of our understanding of motion and dynamics, really, anyway. It drives our understanding of dynamics, F equals ma. In this case, A isn't just plain old A, right? A is centripetal acceleration, which is v squared over r. R being the radius of the circle, v is the velocity, the tangential velocity along the outside of the circle, right? Okay, so now I'm going to rewrite that. Centripetal force equals mv squared over r. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, Mrs. Jones, what's the mass of Dolly the dolphin? And I would say to you, I don't really know, right? Dolly the dolphin was given to me by my sister. I don't know. I don't think her mass was listed on the packaging. I could probably go find my bathroom scale and put Dolly on it and find her weight in pounds and then, do all that crazy math to get her mass. I'm not in the mood to do that today. Really not in the mood to do that at all. Also, I don't have a bathroom scale in my house. And I could be very cool and say I don't have a bathroom scale in my house because I am not defined by my weight. But it's a lie. Truth is, it broke, and I have no desire to go find another one because that's like $30 I don't want to spend. Anyway, so we're just going to say that Dolly the dolphin, in both the small radius circle and the big radius circle, Dolly the dolphin was the same mass. She didn't lose a fin, she didn't lose her bow, no sparkles fell off of Dolly, right? She was the same mass. So I'm going to consider that then a constant. The mass in this situation is a variable, a constant variable, because she didn't lose anything. So I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of mass. By doing that, it allows me to really think about the relationship between radius and velocity anyway, and force, radius, velocity, and force anyway, which I would much rather prefer. Okay, so let's think back to the small circle. I noticed, man, like I said, it really hurt my finger. It really hurt. So if I was feeling a big force in the tension, Dolly was probably feeling a big force on her fin. Please don't call PETA on me. I don't want to be like Tiger King. You can call me Dolly the Dolphin Queen or something. So let's think about that mathematically. If the radius is small, why would that make the force big? Well, you people who are math people are already thinking about in terms of fractions. If the denominator is small, like let's just make velocity 1 for the sake of making it easy. If velocity is 1 and the radius is 1, well shoot, the force is 1, right? Okay, so let's just say my radius is 1. Now let's say that I quadrupled when I made a bigger circle. Let's say I quadrupled the radius, meaning now the radius is not 1, but the radius is now 4. 1 divided by 4, if the velocity stayed the same, which is my goal, I don't know, let's just say 1 divided by 4 is now 0.25, right? Well, that makes sense then why it probably felt less harsh on my finger, maybe on your finger as well, when I had a giant circle versus when I have a smaller circle. Now, great, fantastic, Mrs. Jones. What does that have to do with anything else we've talked about? Well, go back to driving in the car on a tight turn. Go back to driving in the car on a shallow turn, right? You know that when you're going 45 on Frazeysburg Road and you hit a tight turn, you're like, you really gotta crank the wheel and keep it going, right? And when it's a more shallow or gentle curve, it's a lot easier to make that turn, right? Okay, so now add in really bad tires. You've got bald tires. or there's ice on the road. Well, if you don't have the amount of force to keep you on the circle, that's why you fly off, right? If I wasn't holding on to that string appropriately and providing enough resistive tension, well then Dolly the dolphin's gonna fly off and go into the living room. Does that make sense? Yeah. Well, let's go back and look at it in terms of velocity, because I'm pretty sure I screwed up the velocity as well, but what else? If Dolly was actually traveling faster in the smaller circle, well, shoot, of course it makes sense that it would feel more force around my finger, right? The tension in the string was higher because she was going faster, and even more so because it's crazy fast, right? And then when she slowed down on the bigger circle, again, that's why I would have less force. A big number on top leads to a big number here. A small number on top leads to a small number here. You get it? Yeah? Okay. So the reason why I wanted you to do this thing at home, one, was to just get you doing something that wasn't math related or watching Khan Academy. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to get you doing something because that's how we do it in class anyway. We do it and then we talk about it. The other reason why I wanted you to do that is so that you have a basis that you can build everything up from, right? If you can think about Dolly the dolphin and how it felt going around on your finger, whatever you picked up, your stuffed animal, your plastic cup, whatever, a ball of socks. I don't care what you picked up, right? As you were spinning around. When you felt it on your finger, then you can go, wait a minute. It felt harder. It hurt my finger more on that small circle because the radius was small. And the radius is small, being the denominator is small. Like, I want you to think about it in that way before you even attack it mathematically. Because if you can make sense of what's happening, then the math is just your proof. You know what I mean? Your math is just like, well, this is what I said what was going to happen, and look, that is what happened. Yeah? Okay. I'm going to do a real problem. I'll probably have to film that tonight when the kids are asleep, because you can hear you can see my son. He needs to be in front of the camera. So I hope you're well. I know it's windy outside. I was going to do this outside and maybe show you something pretty, but whatever. Stay cool, stay calm. Watch Tiger King. It's totally worth it. Okay? I miss you. Okay, bye.